guys, it's Chance, the Cascade Craftsman. So, well, we want to be the contractor for everybody that we can. I realize that, you know, sometimes it's not in the budget or it just doesn't work out for us to come and do everybody's job. So we're going to do a little how-to here. Mr. Brennan's cleaning up a vinyl window. It's just a slider vinyl window, a really basic install. We're going to bring you along and show you how we install windows. It may not be how everyone installs windows, but I think it's the best way that I've found to install windows. So come along, check it out. So Mr. Brennan cut out our opening earlier, and we're doing all zip sheeting, so the water moisture barrier is painted onto this panel. But if we were doing like a Tyvek, we could still use the zip tape. And we actually have other tapes that we use that, but the process is still pretty similar. The biggest thing with the zip tape is we have to roll that tape in order to wet the tape and get it to adhere. Now I like to do 2 layers since this is only 4-inch tape. We're basically going to create kind of like a little sill pan for this windowsill. So if water did ever get in, it can get back out. Now, the funny thing about this is we're under this nice lean-to. So the chance that water will ever get to this is pretty nil. And remember, see the little roller with the little Z's? When I roll this, it leaves a little Z imprints. And if you were to do like a piece of this tape and roll one piece and then a second piece that you don't roll, and come back like a week later and try pulling it off, you'll understand how important that rolling the tape is. I'm just going to split the difference approximately. Fold this down onto that tape. Now you could do this all with zip stretch tape, but this zip stretch tape is pretty wicked expensive. So I don't really want to spend it to do it all across the bottom in stretch tape. But the reason it's so expensive, I'll show you in a second when I get the backing off. So this corner, if we just put regular tape, we could make a cut and then try to seal it. But with stretch tape, we can put it down into that corner so it will not stick to it. Get it down in that corner and press it to the side and the bottom. But then you can grab these 2 sides and this tape will stretch. And now we have no cuts or adhesive trying to seal that corner. It's all one solid piece. And just like with the regular tape, you gotta roll that too. more piece this corner. Down the corner. Stretch it out. Again, this tape won't work if you don't roll it. So if you're gonna use it, you gotta roll the tape. Otherwise, there's almost no sense in even using this tape. The next part that I like to do is power television. So windows, when you order a window, this should be a 3030 slider. When you order a window, you order it, that's the, you know, the nominal size. That actual window, if you went and put a tape measure on it, 3 feet being 36 inches, would actually measure 35.5 by 35.5. This opening is 36 by 36, so we have a 1/2 inch of room to shim this. Now, not all things are perfectly level, but even if we are level, we might have to adjust this thing up a touch. I like to install this window about 1/4 inch or shim up so it's not sitting right on this. The whole point of this sill flashing is so if water gets in, we can hopefully get water out. I actually won't seal this stretch of the window, so if water is in there, we'll put a couple fasteners. We'll fasten more the top and bottom, but it's trying to, if water gets through all these systems we put in, that water can get back out. And if you're ever looking at a window, you can't tell which side's up or down. The bottom will always have little weep holes in the frame. As it just starts to rain even more, I'm using this is Lexel sealant. You can get it at Lowe's. We get a lot of it from Arrow. I think even Amazon. I'm using this because it's honestly in the tube and it's out here. Brandon, you can get a shot on the back here and show them. So, I just come down to the bottom, just kind of come around the corner a little bit. Because I don't want to seal. We could seal all this all the way. But again, I like having that insurance of if something goes, it will allow that water to get back out. Now Lexel is a premium sealant. Usually I like using big stretch caulking. Honestly, we just have to have a partial tube of that in the caulk gun and it's just as good. They're both made by Sashco. They make really good stuff. So about center. Fasteners aren't as critical. You could just use 8-penny nails, a little pan head screw works great too. And I have just had this in the trailer. Really stripped out. Now again, we framed this, so it's pretty close, but it's kind of like fine tuning stuff. You always go, you know, a little bit better each step. And it doesn't take really any extra effort to get it there. Drop your level. Okay, so we're starting off level. We're going to pin these. Right. Good. Now the next step, I'm going to actually have to go in real quick. Looking at what's called the reveal of the window. So we know this is level. If everything's sitting square, when this window hits that frame, we want it to be even all the way up and down. So then you always want to check center of your window. Because this has some flex to it. And we want a good weather seal. We just want kind of a continuous reveal. So when that weather stripping hits the frame, it's hitting it evenly. Put one top side up here. I can tell all that sealant is squeezing out, so I've got good seal from the window to the wall. Next step, I'm just going to go ahead. I just like to check it for functionality. You want to feel bound up or stiff. You know, it's a vinyl window. It's not like it's on ball bearings or that, but you want it to lock good. Slide easy. You don't want it to feel like it's binding it into the frame. You know, on a really tall window, if this stud was bowed, this could be in or out and it may be hitting there. So this one actually looks pretty dang nice. Now again, I'll put like one center in the bottom, one on the edge. Looks like our flange got bent over there. And then I just like put one in every hole on the flange. I know we actually did a job out in Carbonado, and we took out, there's a sliding glass patio door, and it had a total of like 3 or 4 screws. I just, you know, if one screw's good, 20's probably better. Not all the time, but again, I'm making sure I'm seeing good sealant squeeze out. We've gone to doing, you can do this with nails too. I use an 8-penny galvanized. I don't really do that anymore. We've kind of gotten to really using a lot more screws. One, you gotta adjust something, you can back it back out pretty easy. And two, no one's swinging a hammer next to a piece of glass. So, not loving these screws though, but they're on the trailer. We're gonna use them. And they're a pan head, which is nice, so it's not gouging into and splitting the whole jam apart. We're running out of screws here though. We pause for these commercial interruptions. Alright, by the power television, all the screws are in. So we're not done quite yet though. So we've protected the building by putting in our sill flashing tape down here. Got the corners in good. Now we need to finish sealing the sides and the top. And this stuff, if you know, watch this video and then kind of pay attention to what you see, like the national home builders, how they install their windows. I can tell you it's cheaper cost-wise for them. I don't think it's any better. Actually, I know it's not any better, but it's just we want to take pride in what we're doing. And you know, we're always learning too. Are we perfect? No. But we want to leave a job knowing we're doing a good job. It's a quality installation. And sometimes you could probably get away with a lot less. Like this window here, it's under 4-foot overhang. It will never see a drop of water in its life, probably, unless I'm washing that shit off. That being said, it's like that saying, how you do one thing's how you do everything. I feel like if I start picking and choosing windows that get a full install like this and ones that don't, it's just a slippery slope. So, you know, it's just nice to know everything. You know, say this lean-to isn't a lean-to anymore in the future, and this is windows more exposed than what it is right now. You know, I can't really tell for certain what's going to happen in the future, so might as well just be able to sleep good at night. But again, I've said it a few times, but if you're going to use zip sheeting and flashing tape products, you have to roll the tape. It will not work if you don't roll the tape. And at that point, there's really, you might as well not put it on, because it doesn't work. So, here we go. Do the top, roll the tape. I like getting on the flange and then running just above the flange, rolling that tape on the both. Now that, I don't know if they is a perfect install, but I think this is how we install windows. It's going to last a really long time. It tries to keep all the moisture out of the building, but we also plan, if something does happen, that we do want a little bit of a relief at the bottom. So keep following along and do some more of these how-to videos. Have a great day, everybody.